I kind of like do away with the pictures from now for right now. I'm just trying to develop a new formula so that we can get underway and get to know what the best of the 757 community talk show is going to be talking about and some of the, you know, topics that we, various and try not to get too long into those topics when I'm broadcasting because I'm here to inform the community of activities and things that's going on, as well as things that I'm trying to create and to develop in a form that you have a platform that's really talking about positiveness and love. And that's the most important key that we forget when we are talking and communicating with one another. Love. We're not talking about sexual love. Let's get it straight. And let's don't. It ain't one of those type of shows. Love is a universal language which God created Himself, because you know that He said, "God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son." But I'm not here to preach. I'm here because there's a problem going on in our community, and we're losing a generation of young people. And with that said, this is the purpose of the Best of the 757 Community Talk Show, to inform people that no person is an island unto himself. And that means that we have to work together, come together for the common cause of saving the next generation. Young people are on the chopping block. And you might say, well, my child doesn't do this, my child don't do that. That might be true. Of course, I had 7 kids and, they didn't do things either. But the thing is, you have to understand the enemy is real. The enemy is he ain't taking names. He's taking lives. He ain't taking numbers. So our young people are the most valuable commodity on the face of the planet. As we get older, I just had a birthday the other day. July the 12th was my birthday, my 71 birthday. And I tell people I've been doing this mostly all my life, talking about and trying, to figure out why we as humans are so angry with each other, especially in our community. In the last 30 years, our community is shifting from being peacemakers, working together in the community, to coming against one another. As we get older, the young is is not paying attention. But are we doing enough to get their attention? It seems like everything on the internet, television, in the streets is getting their attention. But ask yourself, are we doing enough to get their attention? Because the only way you can get their attention is love. You can buy them all the material things in the world, buy them things that you can't even afford, that's going to wear out every 6 to 8 months. In clothing, the styles change rapidly. And as we continue, as we are now getting into the age of entrepreneurship, I'm a boss. Are we losing the fact that being a boss and an entrepreneur, are you sacrificing your future generation, your kids? Not being aware of what's going on in your home when you're not there. And that's an easy remedy today, because you got monitors you can buy to monitor your home, who comes in and out, what's going on, by putting cameras up. That's for protection. That's for safety. That's not for privacy. Privacy is when people can pay the rent and move out. but to secure your family's safety, to secure your safety as a parent, we must recognize that things happen to our youth because they sometimes get misguided by other people, outside forces. But we must do better to protect their lives, to make sure you was able to grow up as before you became an adult. You was a child. Then you turned to a teen. Then you turn into a young adult. Over 21, you a full adult. So let's don't get it twisted. You got to understand everything is done by numbers. But when you look at the stats and the numbers on television, and my religion is watching the news. I watch the news religiously, like people read the Bible. And we're losing a battle that we shouldn't be fighting. Because the key is paying attention to your children, loving them, and helping them nourish their dreams. The things that we'll, as psychologists do now, and professionals will tell you, a child is born, and when he's born, he's already fascinated. We don't even understand the mechanism that God put in place when a child is born. When you was born, just imagine all the marvelous things that you have, that you can do in your mind when you came in this world. As you was growing up, you was beginning to discover and develop. Everything that you see on TV is part of that growth. But if your mother didn't show you love, if your father didn't show you love, somewhere along the way, you're going to go down the wrong path. Somewhere along the way, your child is going to feel like nobody cares. And welcome the streaks. Because just like he doesn't care, there's people on the street that don't care either. Oh, yeah, they're your friend. They become friends. Then once they become friends, then you lose control of your children, your house. Because the street terms is, I got your back. They get in an argument or people try to jump them, try to take advantage of them, and they don't tell you. It becomes mental stress, mental health issues. They're being bullied at school, bullied on the way home from school, bullied in their own neighborhoods. That's mental health. That's stress. But what do we do to curtail these things that affect our future generation? We have to do more than lip service. We have to do more than just pass the buck. Whenever you see in the news that a child 6 years old take a weapon to school, and shoot a teacher, and who is it? It's always our community. Something is wrong with that picture. Their mother stands to go to jail. Because she didn't properly store the gun. Do you have weapons in your house that you don't secure? You don't keep it locked under lock and key. You just have it out. Do your child bring a gun into your house that you're unaware of? No, because you don't go in their room. That's their private place. Ain't nothing private until they get 18 and hey, I'm out. Or they ain't staying in the house. Today we have lost control. of our homes. You don't own the community. First, you got to take back your homes. You don't own the community. Let's get that straight. That's like a propaganda type word they use for us. In the Black community, it's called community. We call it the hood, the ghetto. They call it the community. But the community don't stay in your house. Let's get it straight. Where you stay at is a house. If you listen to the lyrics of the one and only, the late great singer, R&B, the crooner himself, Luther Vandross, he won't singing about the community. Gail Scott Hearn won't sing about the community. He was talking about the ghetto. We have our own names for where we stay. But when you put community in it, they're telling you you're responsible for the whole community. And you can't be. You can't be on every corner in the community. But your house, oh yeah, your house, you are responsible for where you stay at. That's why it has an address on it or apartment number. You are responsible. That's why you pay taxes to the city. If you own a property, you pay taxes. They're there to represent your community. Do you understand? They're there to represent your community. You can go down to city council and say, well, my child was put in jail. Well, okay, that you got to consult a lawyer. You go to the school board, they controls what you do, your child do in the school, the public schools. So your house is what you control. And you allow content from outside your house, into your home. That's why you see that Jesus knocking at the door. And it says in scripture, I don't know it specifically, but any man who knocks, if he lets you in, you can enter. Do you know when you look at Dracula, the vampire? Don't you know when Dracula cannot come in a person's house? Study the movie. Study the movie. Stop looking scared. Study what you're being, as people that I know in other religions or something, or other political areas, you're being indoctrinated. So when Dracula come to your house in the movie, or to a person's house in the movie, what is he doing? He knocks on the door. Hello, I'm Count Dracula. I stay across the street. I just thought I'd come over and introduce myself. Don't we allow kids and people in our homes when we're no longer there? We allow people into our homes that we don't even know nothing about. You have given them an invitation into your house. Or when you come to a neighborhood, people come, oh, well, I brought you a welcoming gift. I thought I brought you, bring you some food over. You have invited them into your dwelling without knowing, other than they move into the neighborhood. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with it. But look at our communities today. Isn't it a little strange that we have all the violence there and we don't know who's causing it? People are losing their sons and daughters to gun violence. People are coming through our communities, as we call it, shooting up neighborhoods and through apartments. And people are dying every day to the week. And then we're hoping the police come and rescue us. Our kids are dying because the lack of love. I'm working on my program. I've been working on it for years. And one of the program I'm working on is called The Real Adventures of Captain 85. This is the character that I created way back in the 70s. Now we in 2023. 2023. And you're saying, I thought you was a DJ. Well, yeah, I became a DJ. I changed my name several times, because that's why people that might follow me don't know how many times I changed my name over the years before I got to this one. Until I started using this one in about 1978. I started using the name Captain 85. Now, I was very popular with other names like SD and Company, Super Disco, that's the abbreviation for it. Then I changed it from there to Super Disco. That was in the early 70s when disco music was all the rage before there ever was hip hop. It was disco. And before disco, it was R&B. For R&B, it was blues. And before blues, it was country and western. Before that, it was gospel. And it still is. We got so many gyros of music that we have created because of our ancestors and those that are here before us. We have always been successful in creating music, the instrument, the drum. Most people don't even know what that represents, but they talk about it all the time. They'll talk about the wall drums. The drums are rolling, rumbling. Our ancestors created the drum for communications. Drums were used for communications. And those that knew how to use the drums for communication would send messages because of the vast land of Africa, the continent as a whole, had to be able to communicate. And it wasn't always birds and pigeons. It was the drum that would send signals. When our ancestor was in America, the native Indian, they used smoke signals. We always been able to communicate. Then as we begin to populate the planet, we begin to speak different languages. That's, to me, where you get the word Babylon, that they was trying to build a temple to reach God in heaven. And God looked down and told them not to worry about that. And they was punished because all of them began to babble. My spirit interpreted it as another form, meaning that babble is what religion is, because we babble. Everybody got a different language. Everybody got a different phrase. Everybody got a different meaning in religion. But all I know, if you pray to whatever religion you are asking that entity to come into your life and guide you on this journey called Earth. But what about the generation that's here now and to come? The babies that are not yet born. Who's going to guide them? Who is going to put their trust? There's thousands of different religions on this planet today. We all interpret things differently. But I know through my years of being in school, going to New York and studying there for radio, and as a teenager, I got a job in New York when I was living in the Bronx with my brother for a summer job, and the job was in Harlem. And I got to work with a lot of people, but I didn't only meet but a few. I've always journeyed to places unknowing by myself. And people were like, you came over to New Jersey by yourself looking for someone? Do you know how dangerous that is? If you look at a person in New York and say the wrong thing, they're ready to fight you. But I met many people, but they was somewhat kind to me. I've been in different cities and states, not knowing where I am. And as they said about Jesus in the book, he had to leave where he was born because the people didn't accept him. We're all on a journey. We have to pick and choose what we are going to do with our lives. We got kids losing their lives in elementary, middle school, high school, college. What's wrong with the picture? We got guns in our community more than we got food. We got guns in our community more than we got people got jobs. People killing like they in the army, defending the country. And they're talking about, I'm defending my community. If you're defending your community, where your tax bill at? Where your taxes at? Well, let me show me your tax bill. We can talk about all the things that you think you're doing, but you're not protecting your family. You don't need a gun to protect your family. What you need to protect your family is to sit down and talk to them. We have to understand that love is the only remedy to solving evil. And that doesn't take you going to church. That take it to look within yourself. Look within yourself to find out, what does it take for me to love someone else? I was bullied when I went to school, but I had neighbors that would protect me. I don't know why, but they did. They looked out for me. And then when I went to another school, I would get in fights. I don't even know why they fight me. I don't even know them. This stuff is still going on today. And when I was in school, I didn't know who they were. And guy said, hey, I told you I was going to beat you up next time I saw you. My mom had sent me to the school, to Belo's over in Portsmouth. over there by Newtown. That was the community over there. It was called Newtown. But I stayed on Effingham Street. It was what they used to call Billy Goat Alley, I think. Something of that nature. But my mom sent me to the store to get some bread or some eggs or whatever it was. And I had to go by myself. I was the oldest. Guys said, hey, didn't I tell you the next time I see you, I'm going to beat you up? I said, what? I said I was going to beat you up. You talk bad in school when you're around your friends. I'm like, what? I never seen you in my life. You trying to get out of it now. You don't want to talk smart now. This is my life. This is my life. I was in a special education class. I passed the 3rd grade, fell once, once I passed, I was in the 3rd grade a month. It might not even been a week. They took me out and put me in an ungraded class. I ain't even got but 1 or 2 books to take home to study with. And the teacher said, principal or whoever came and got me said, hey, leave the books. Come go with me. We putting you in another class. I ain't been in the class. I don't think it was 2 weeks. I'm like, wow, okay. But like I tell people, because I say I'm spiritual, because I know I ain't talking to myself. It can't be talking to myself. Somebody's talking to me. So I'm going to say I'm spiritual. So when I'm sitting in the class or going home, I'm like, they say I'm in a special education class because I can't read. Or I can't do math. Or I can't do this. And I'm like, first you got to show me what to do. You have to teach me. That's what a teacher's job is to teach the class. Give them assignments. But you can't give me an assignment and then tell me to just do the assignment and I ain't never, what is it? You gave me some words, a book. I ain't never had a book in my life. And the books I did was, Come Sally, let's go find Tom and Dick. See Dick run, run Dick, run. Here comes Jane. Hey Jane, where is Tom? Tom went to look for a Spot. There's Spot. Run, Spot, run. And you're going to tell me what the teacher gives me to learn to read. But nevertheless, we move forward. All I'm saying is our campaign should be about our future generation, our young people. And when people are asking you for the most important thing, their vote, your vote, vote for me, vote for me. All the people we vote for, how many people champion the things that you are electing them to office to do? We hear their speeches. I still ain't figured out how people running for office can come to the church and dress you from the pulpit, when I thought the Constitution said state and religion is separate. But I don't know everything because I was in special education class. Maybe somewhere they changed the laws like they always do. They'll go into church and ask for you, the community, to vote for them. Church and state is separated because Church is your religion and the laws that God put in place. Voting is people that make the laws that keep you in place. And it's ironic. It might sound like a joke, but it ain't. Most people in our generation, the elderly, the senior citizens, from coming up from Martin Luther King, who was a pastor, who was asked to lead things for the community. You know, when Martin Luther King got the Civil Rights Bill passed, he also got nominated for the award, the highest award that people can get. The Nobel Peace Prize, if I'm correct. Getting that award also gave him an opportunity to receive $1 million check. That's what he got to do with it what his will was. Then ask this, do your research. But I don't know. How come Martin Luther King died broke? $1 million back then in the 60s and 70s? 1 million? Why did he die broke? Think he gave it all away. Our kids are programmed to look at money. Look at money. Value clothing. Value celebrities more than you value their mother and their father. That's what our vote get. Then there's people trying to clean it up as they get older in politics. Some have seen the things that they've done were wrong. And whoever they pray to, maybe they ask them for forgiveness and they're trying to correct their mistakes. But the vote, you see, when one party do something, the next party tries to change the fact that, hey, this person ain't doing nothing for you. I'm sorry, Teresa. How you doing this afternoon? I apologize for not recognizing that you was watching. Thank you. You're one of my favorite viewers, Teresa Riddick. She follows me on my programs. She followed me on WBDM Radio and the Best of the 757 Community Talk Show. She is a loyal viewer and supporter. And for that, Teresa, I am going to award you to be on the Go VIP list for the one and only return of the 757 Vicky Whining concert that's coming to Norfolk. That's right. You just, because you are the first person I saw that chimed in, and all you have to do is accept by typing, I want to go. Just text it to me. when I'm on WVDM, or you can text it to me now, and I will put your name on the guest list. And this concert is going to be at, hold on for a minute. Let me get back to my other screen. Because, see, I work by myself. You know how I do. I mean, I do have guests, but I try not to, take up too much people time. And that concert is going to be right down at the bottom of the screen, the New Cavalry at Norfolk at 800 East Virginia Beach Boulevard, where the Reverend Dr. W.M. Marcus Smalls is pastor. And I'm just letting you know, you are the recipient of the Golden VIP, courtesy of MacArthur's Films. 1752 presents the 757 Queens of Gospel Concert. And also, who's going to be on that show? The list is right here at the bottom of the screen. No, that's the wrong one. Let me see. No, that's the one. It's in here at the bottom of your name. And those are the people that's going to be performing, Teresa. And that's July the 30th now. That's Sunday, last Sunday of July. Those 757 Queens of Gospel, Vicky Winans, Juanita Wynn, and a host of other people. And this is going to also be hosted by the one and only gospel comedian. I'm talking about, if you don't know, you better ask somebody. I'm talking about the one and only. Let me get to that screen, because I don't want to do it wrong. I want to give her all her accolades. I want y'all to know the Queens of Comedy. The host is going to be the one and only Chocolate. That's right. The Queen of Gospel Concert is hosted by Chocolate. And I don't know where I got it, but like I said, when you look for things, it's never working. But as you can see, that's the young lady that's right there in the corner right there. 30th of July, 5 p.m. concert and to 10. And I'm just letting you know, Chocolate's going to be there. That's the young lady next to in the white. She's going to be hosting this event. And hopefully next week, I will have her on the show. The best of the 757 Community Talk Show. Oh, yes. We're going to do the darn thing. We're going to hook it up. And hopefully I will have Vicky Winans. That's right. I'm just juggling around schedules to get these people onto the show to let you know that they are coming to town. And it's presented by MacArthur Films 1752. So you will know, don't get it twisted. And, so you will know this young man, solo, like I tell people, he's solo. He rides the bike to promote these events. And people say, what? Yeah, because you're looking at the wrong person. MacArthur Films 1752. This young man here with Vicky Winans did concerts with Vicky Winans in the past. That's why he brought her here. And it was a great turnout. And he decided to ask her, would she come again? Like I try to explain to people about love. Love. He's showing love by telling young people, the parents and people, if you got kids 12 and under, 12 and under, they can get in free. That's right. 12 and under, they can get in free. I don't know too many places 12 and under get in anything. You got to get them buy a ticket because every ticket is a seat that could be paid for. The Bible said, train them while they're young, so when they get older, they won't do wrong. Shame, shame on you. One of the great gospel songs that I grew up with. We are trying to take back the community. That's city council and them, the police department. That's their job. Our job is to raise our kids, protect them, give them guidance. But as everything that this government does is to take control of your children. When they back in the sink was 80s, telling kids if your parent hit you, pick up the phone, call the police. What was it? What? What? Pick up the phone, call the police? Because you abusing your kids. What? The Bible say, if you spare the rod, you bend the rod and spare the child. So when you're spinning the rod, you're telling the child, it's okay to do whatever you want. You're telling a child, do whatever you want, because I'm fed up. But that's what your vote get. People making decisions, making policies behind closed doors, giving it a funny name, and they know we don't like to read. See, the thing is, we was brought up in an era where our ancestors were slaves for 400 some years. 400 years, not 4 weeks, not 4 days, not 4 months, not for 4 years, not for 40. 400 years. That's why when I guess slavery was over and Lincoln said he was going to give us 40 acres and a mule, I guess they divided 400 years and said, well, how they 40 years old. Let's divide that and give them into 400. You know, we do that. If we take 100 and put it in we put 100 years into 400 divided by 100, we'll come out with 40 years. 40 years in a mule. Somewhere along the way, we got neither. We ain't even get the mule. We didn't get the 40 acres because the other party killed Lincoln, assassinated him, Williams Booth. But I was in a special education class. I wasn't able to read that back then. But he was at the opera, shot him in the head. They put his vice president in place. So when they put his vice president in place, because he had supposed to sign the bill the next day. The next day, he was supposed to sign the bill for all slaves to get 40 acres and a mule. What? You gonna do what? Is you crazy? 400 years? Why do you think? Oh, you just thought they just killed him because he was white. In actuality, he was black. Don't get it twisted. There's over 10 presidents were black. You're looking at the color of the skin. Because most people back then was either rape or the wives of slaves owners were sleeping with black men. So in return, the children were black. So whatever color the father is, that's supposed to determine the color of the race. That's DNA. I'm sorry. So they killed Lincoln to keep from us getting the 40 acres and a mule. Oh, we were somewhat still free, but because the farmland, the white people owned it all. They couldn't farm it. What part you don't understand? You see how large the United States is? And with all the population in the United States today, they still don't have enough people working on the farmlands. So they came up with the system called sharecropping. Whoa, sharecropping. I'm gonna still let you live on the land for free. I'm gonna pay you to work the fields. Yeah, right. Sharecropping. My mom and dad used to be sharecroppers. Yeah. Little old me, my mom and dad were sharecroppers. And what happened? My dad and them, they would work the fields, harvest when it was time to harvest. And once they did the harvesting, the farmer sold all his products. And what he would do, the whole year you on that land, he's charging you rent. He's charging you for the food you're eating. He's charging you for the clothes that he lend you the money to buy. Everything you had as a sharecropper, he got it all back and more. And you still working as a slave. What part you don't understand? Our ancestors went through a lot. And they're probably looking down from wherever they are and saying, where did we go wrong? We're being hoodwinked and bamboozled every single day. The only race on the face of the planet is getting bamboozled every single day, every month, every year. And you want to know, and you won't even pick up your history book because you were told not to read it. Because they're banding just like they did with religion. They're banding Black history until you go to college. Even with religion. That's where you learn religion if you really want to know. Look at the churches. The churches don't preach religion. They preach prosperity. Look up the word and see what it means. Don't get mad with me. I'm just the messenger. That's all I am. I am the messenger. You may not like what I say, and I know the enemy don't like what I say because they're always trying to destroy what I say and what I do. I'm the only person in this area that's been and run a club or where it wasn't a club. See, that's the understand that y'all don't understand. In Virginia, there is no such thing as clubs. They're called restaurants. That's why they have to sell food. What club you go in to just sell liquor? Where's that? Where is that? Go to one that don't sell food. That's the bar. Where is that? They have to serve food. They have a ratio that they got to serve. The amount of liquor they purchase is about the amount of food. A percentage of that they have to sell. So I can't tell you nothing. You know, I let them tell you how many clubs that we used to socialize are still open today. Because we don't know how to act. There's so many things that we have to get a grasp on when it comes to our future generation. Vicky Winan is coming again back to this area, courtesy of Steve MacArthur, July the 30th. You see the information at the bottom of the screen. I'm not here to dictate or tell you what religion you should be, what you should believe in. What I'm here to tell you about is love. I'm here to tell you about we're losing a generation of kids because the lack of love. And I know I get long-winded and I get off a topic, but I want to also mention another sponsor, this young lady right here. So if you're in the business, you want to be to know about insurance of any kind. This is Patricia Parker. You can contact her at the number below. Insurance is a way to change the legacy for your family, because we all are going to leave this planet. We all going to have to be buried. She's a insurance specialist, Teresa Parker. Her number is 757-582-7440. She's the sponsor. On WVDM radio, she buys advertising. She's a sponsor of this show today. All you have to do is pick up the phone and get the information that you need from her. She's on Facebook. Patricia Parker is her Facebook name as well. That's her telephone number. You can call her and leave a message at her office, and she will reach out to you. We have to stop playing games because our future generation is depending on us to do more than just play games. We have to do more. Why? Because if we don't, who's going to take care of them? Who is going to show them the love they need? Somebody tell me. Somebody please tell me who's going to show them love. They living, and while you're living, somebody broke in, a lady, 71-year-old lady, a 76-year-old, robbed and beat her up. Are we talking to our sons and daughters, our brothers and sisters, our uncles, our aunts, our nieces and nephews? These are hard decisions. These are hard things to reckon with. But July is here. We only got a few more months before November. And everybody's asking for your vote. Start researching the people before they come to you and ask you for your vote. Educate your children that are 17 years of age to register to vote. So when 2024 campaign began, they need to be abreast. When they turn 18 before November, they can vote. They can vote. Stop putting your faith in the lips, in the words, in the endorsements. Because once they in office, they there for 4 to 4 times 10 and beyond. As they work on Bad Boys, the new movie, and their song has always been, bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when I come for you? What you gonna do? Everybody from sports players. Why can't it be somebody that's just an average? And we got those too. We pick the ones that are not electable. We pick the ones that they make electable. Do you see the money they spend in these campaigns? Do you see the money that these people have to come up with? How do a black man running for the office for the first time come up with $1 million? And he can't get $1 million unless he die and leave a policy. I mean, just tell me. Everybody is being bought. Just depending on who get in office is the one that you voted for being bought, or the person that did their due diligence and worked on your behalf and kept the seat. We have to stop pretending voting is your duty, but the right to vote is a privilege. These politicians that smile in your face, and you can name a few cities with all the turmoil going on in. And those areas got more people dying in the streets than the people that don't. I don't really get into politics. I'm a servant. I fit in where I fit in. I don't go to lunch. I don't hang out. I'm not a righteous man. I'm a spiritual man because I fall short of grace. So some of the things that I have done. But that's a story for another day. Don't forget, Teresa Riddick, if you are available for July the 30th, text me and I will get your name and leave it at the door, and you and a guest get in free to see Vicki Winans on July the 30th. And you got that because of Steve MacArthur Productions. MacArthur's Films, 1752. Remember to love yourself and put God first. Everything else will fall in place. It doesn't matter what others think about you, because I don't care what they think about me. I'll see you Monday on WVDM Radio. Until then, have a wonderful weekend.